Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat? Well, clearly not me. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Batman Forever, the movie directed by Joel Schumacher, starring Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, Chris O'Donnell, Jim Carrey, and Tommy Lee Jones. And this is the Batman movie that kind of turned things around a little bit. Whether you thought it was good or bad, that's irrelevant because the movie was very successful back in the day. And whatever backlash it may have gotten now isn't really as bad as people say. That's what I'm going to get into. So let's talk about it. First of all, we got Val Kilmer taking over from Michael Keaton, who played Batman in the last two Batman films. And I'm going to say, I think Val Kilmer did a pretty good job as Bruce Wayne. I think people overlook that nowadays and tend to forget that once in a while. His Batman, though, is pretty boring. It's definitely a Batman with no soul in it. But yeah, I think his Bruce Wayne should be talked about a little bit more because I think he actually did a pretty good job in the role of Bruce Wayne. Chris O'Donnell is playing Robin in this movie, and I actually thought Robin was pretty good. Dick Grayson, the character of Dick Grayson. I thought he was done pretty well in this film. And I think Chris O'Donnell did a pretty good job. And yeah, I think this is proof that Robin could work in a Batman movie. And it looks like maybe Batman v Superman might be setting that up, the idea that Robin existed in the universe. And I'd like to see Robin return because I think it could work. As long as you make Robin a little bit older, not how he is in the comics where he starts off as like a 12-year-old kid. I think that might be stretching it a little bit. But if you make him a little bit older, maybe like a 17, 18-year-old, start him off there, I think Robin could work. Now, obviously the Robin we're getting in Batman v Superman is going to be a lot older, but if they do flashbacks or something, hopefully they don't have him as a kid. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope they have him something like this, something in his late teens maybe even early 20s. Somewhere, I think late teens would be good because then that way Bruce can adopt him as a surrogate son. I like that idea that Bruce is trying to build his family, and that's what this movie, I think, did right with Robin. We also have Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and to me, he's the weakest link of the movie, in my opinion. I love Tommy Lee Jones as an actor, but seeing him in this role of Two-Face and seeing the way he played it didn't sit well with me. To me, he was too much of a Joker clone. And it wasn't just that, it was the way he was displayed in the film. I felt like he wasn't even taking the role seriously while playing it. I don't know whether to blame Joel Schumacher on this point since he was the director and he could have told him, hey, maybe you should tone it down a little bit. Or maybe Tommy Lee Jones was like, I'm going to play this any way I want, and this is the way I'm going to play it because I'm in a clown movie anyways. And because remember, superhero movies still weren't respected during this time. So I can see Tommy Lee Jones saying something like that. Maybe not. Maybe it is the way, Joel Schumacher wanted the movie to be filmed. But either way, yeah, the Two-Face character in this movie was way out there, and I didn't like it. Jim Carrey as the Riddler, however, is a shining moment. Probably the best character in this entire movie. Now, maybe I'm overstretching it, maybe I'm overreaching that statement, but I really love Jim Carrey as an actor. Jim Carrey has been my favorite actor since I was a kid, during the 90s, and he was huge during this time, which is one of the reasons why the movie did so successfully. Now, obviously looking back at the film today, I don't think the movie is as grand as I thought it was, and learning more about Batman throughout the years. But I owe this movie because this is the movie that got me into being a Batman fan, and most of that was because of Jim Carrey. I think a lot of the reasons a lot of people went to go see this movie, again, was because of Jim Carrey. He was a huge star in the 90s, so he had so many movies throughout 94 and 95. Remember, this was already his fourth movie in the span of 2 years. So that was pretty crazy. So in a lot of ways, I have a lot of respect for this movie for bringing me into the Batman fandom. But obviously it doesn't make up for what the whole movie is as a whole. Yes, Jim Carrey is great in it, and he is a little over the top. He is what you expect from Jim Carrey, but I think the way he does it fits him as the character. And if you remember the Frank Gorshin role of the Riddler from the 1960s TV series, he's very much like that, but more modern, obviously. So I think that's why, for me, Jim Carrey works in this movie. Another role I have to talk about is Dr. Chase Meridian, played by Nicole Kidman. Once again, Nicole Kidman is really good, but the character of Dr. Chase, I think she's an okay character. I don't think she's the most memorable love interest that Bruce Wayne has in all these Batman films. I still give that to Selena Kyle, Catwoman, from Batman Returns. But Dr. Chase would be, in my opinion, she's about the same as Vicky Vale, I'd say. If I had to choose between her or Vicky Vale, though, Dr. Chase or Vicky Vale, I'd go with Vicky Vale. She's not as good as that character, but I think she's still, let's just say she's better than Rachel Dawes. Okay, that's saying a lot, I think. When you look at the look of this movie, I feel like they lost what Tim Burton had created, which what I thought was a great look for Gotham City. I feel the art direction didn't wow me in this one. I feel like they went more neon lights and Las Vegas. It looked more like Las Vegas now. And to me, I didn't like the look of Gotham. I felt they lost that artistic look that they had from the Tim Burton films. Even the score in this movie, to me, it's annoying, actually. I feel like it's nails on a chalkboard when I listen to the score of this film. It doesn't fit right with me while watching the movie. And it actually does make me miss Danny Elfman's score a lot more. And I remember watching the trailers for Batman Forever and even Batman and Robin, when they did the trailers for that, they still used the Danny Elfman theme in those trailers. And then when you watch the movie, it's like you don't even hear that theme at all. You just hear this all new theme, which is like meh, it's like you get tired of it because it starts repeating itself in some areas. And it's annoying. It's like in Batman and Robin, I'm pretty sure they used the exact same score in that movie, because listening to it in this movie, there might be some new scores here and there, but like some new tracks here and there. But for the most part, it sounds almost exactly the same. It felt like they just asked the guy, hey, just edit the same scores you put in this movie with a few new ones. And that's why I hate the scores, and not hate, but I don't really like them in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. For the most part, I thought the movie was okay. I felt the pacing was a little bit off once in a while, mostly in the beginning. I feel like once Dick Grayson gets into the picture after the whole circus tragedy act, I feel that's when the movie starts to pick up a little bit more. Specifically when Jim Carrey actually becomes the Riddler and joins with Two-Face, I feel like, okay, now things are getting going a little bit. But for the most part, yeah, the pacing's kind of off throughout this movie. There's some scenes I really enjoy, and some scenes I really don't. I really like the storyline where they bring back Bruce's past of his parents' murder, and where he starts to remember there was more to that night than what we knew, that his parents got shot. There was more to what he found. They show us how he found the Batcave. And there's a lot of great deleted scenes on the DVD. If you guys find the DVD, look at the deleted scenes. I think there's a lot more there that they had that I was kind of sad that they actually took out. So with all that being said, guys, I'm giving Batman Forever a 6 out of 10. I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Obviously, I loved it a lot more when I was younger. I remember a lot of people did at the time. And but yeah, it's not the perfect Batman movie, but I think it has some enjoyable moments, mostly with Jim Carrey. If you're a huge Jim Carrey fan, you won't be disappointed, I think. I think he'll make it up for you. For the most part, I think the Batman character himself is okay. I think when he's Batman, he's a little bit boring, but when he's Bruce Wayne, he's a lot more interesting. And his interaction with Robin is really cool. It's cool to see Robin finally in the mix. For people that know the Batman lore, it's a nice change of pace in that sense. I think there's too much change though, that maybe that's why it was hard to get used to, but it does feel too cartoony, and that's not what we wanted. But then again, that was the 90s, right? That was when these studios didn't really understand superhero movies. Nowadays, we're getting some really badass superhero movies, which is really great, but yeah, this was the early years of that. But yeah, I wouldn't rule it off as total trash. So I totally recommend you guys to check out Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. We'll get to that one next time. So until next time, take care.